Hi everybody, I'm Brian. This is Lupin. We're two of the designers behind Good Dog, Bad Zombie, a board game where you play as a pack of dogs trying to save humans from the zombie apocalypse. We're going to show you how to play. Before your first time playing, you'll need to assemble all the components. First, put together the dog tokens. To do so, fold the small tab over, then press the two sides together. Now you'll need to hold the bottom of the token together tightly. While doing so, firmly press the token into a card stand. You might find it helpful to do this at an angle. Now you have a dog token. You'll do the same with your zombie tokens, folding the tab over, pressing the two pieces together, holding the bottom firmly, and pressing it into a card stand, at an angle if it helps. Now you have a zombie. Lastly, you'll do the same thing with your three humans. Now, you've got zombies, you've got dogs, and you've got humans. There's one last thing you'll need to do before your first time playing. The game comes with 3 custom human cards, so you can play with familiar faces, as well as an instruction card on how to use them. Before your first game, remove these 4 cards from the deck. You can add them back later, but for now, let's just play with the regular cards. Okay, now we can set up the game. Start by laying out the 3 boards. First, place the city board in the middle of the table. Then place Humantown above it and the feral track below it. Next, place the red feral marker on the 1 on the feral track. Collect all 18 zombie tokens and place them somewhere near the board. Do the same thing with the 3 human tokens, placing them somewhere within reach of everybody. Next, shuffle the human deck and place it next to or above Humantown. Then shuffle the energy deck and place it somewhere within reach of everyone. Next, shuffle the scent deck quite thoroughly. Then break it into 3 roughly even piles and place it above the city board. Make sure that the sides that look like the city board are face up. Then take the 3 bone-shaped scent tokens and place them on the board locations that match the 3 sides that are face up. It's okay if there happens to be 2 scents in the same location. Now we get to be dogs. Each player takes 1 dog sheet. For this game, we'll play with Lupin, Wayne, and then Captain Woofster. Each player should take the dog figure associated with their dog sheet and place it in the middle location of Central Bark. Next, give every player 2 cards from the energy deck. It's okay for these to be face up and for other players to see what's in your hand, since we're on the same team. This is a cooperative game where we all win or lose together. Next, take any unused dog cards and flip them over. These become your reference cards to help you remember what you can do on your turn. The last step is to add zombies to the board. There are 5 different difficulty setups that come with Good Dog, Bad Zombie. But for the purpose of this video, let's say we're playing on easy mode, which has a start a zombie on 5, tall things, and 14, zombie tower. So let's talk about winning and losing. We win the game if we fill up Humantown with 6 human cards. In addition, we also have to get all dogs back to Central Bark. Once Humantown is full and all dogs are back, we win. However, as the game goes on, the feral track will increase when zombies get into Central Bark or eat unsuspecting humans. If the feral track reaches 10, we return to our wolf ancestor ways, forget what it means to feel the love of a human, and we lose the game. Now that you know how to win and lose, let's talk about how you're going to be a good doggo and what happens on your turn. Everything we're going to talk about here can be found on your player reference card. To summarize, you first take 2 actions on your turn. Then, you have to add a zombie to the city. Your 4 basic actions are run 1, lick, sniff, and play an energy card. We'll start by talking about running. When you run 1, you may move to any adjacent space. That includes spaces that are diagonal to you. You can use the same action multiple times in a turn, so you could do run 1 twice in a single turn. Your next basic action is licking. you can lick any dog in your current space to get them energy cards. So for instance, Lupin could say, "I'm gonna lick myself," and he would draw 2 energy cards. Or, if Lupin and Wayne were in the same location, Lupin could lick Wayne, and then Wayne would draw 2 energy cards. The maximum hand size is 5, so if you already have 5 energy cards, you simply cannot draw any more. Your next basic action is sniffing. Sniffing is how you will find the humans in hiding that you need to rescue in order to win the game. You can only sniff if you're on a location with one of the bone-shaped scent tokens and no zombies. When you sniff, draw the scent card correlated to the space you are on. So in this case, Lupin would draw the Squirreltown scent card because Lupin is on Squirreltown. Every scent card will tell you to add a human figure to the space you are on, but they will cause something else to happen, like you might knock over a trash can and attract the attention of a zombie. Read the story and follow the instructions on each scent card after you draw it. Once you finish with the scent card, discard it, then move the scent token to the new space that's at the top of the deck. In this way, the scents will move around the city as the game goes on. Now let's talk about playing energy cards. Playing energy cards also takes only one action, but they'll give you powerful effects to move around the city, chase off zombies, rescue humans, and use your special ability. When you play an energy card, use its effects, and then put it into a discard pile. All of what we're going to discuss can be found on the right-hand side of your reference card to help you remember as the game goes on. Let's start with something familiar, running. If you play a run energy card, you can move up to the number of spaces listed on that card. Just like with run 1, you can move diagonally. So with a run 3, you could run 2 spaces to your right, then diagonally up 1 space. Every card is also up 2. So you could run up to 3 spaces, but only 2 spaces if you wanted to. Basically, you're a dog with options. Let's talk about herd cards. Herd cards let you move one other figure, human, zombie, or other dog that's currently in your space with you up to the number printed on that card. So Lupin could play a herd 2 to move this zombie 2 spaces with him to the river. And as we all know, zombies can't swim, so when the zombie enters the river, remove it from the board. The same is true for when zombies enter the cliffs. Remove the zombie from the board. This is the main way you'll remove zombies from the city. And yes, dogs can move to the cliffs and the river and stay there just fine because dogs are brave and smart. Unfortunately, humans aren't that much smarter than zombies, so they cannot go on to the cliffs or the rivers. So, with a run 3 card, Lupin could move to the zombie in the tall things, and then use a herd 2 card to move the zombie off the cliffs and away from Central Bark. But Lupin could also use that herd 2 card to rescue a human and bring them back to Central Bark. And just like the movement of a run card, herd cards can be used diagonally. So Lupin could use his herd 2 card to get this human to Central Bark around zombies in the way. Herd cards can also be used on dogs to strategically get your pack around the city. It's important to note that zombies can never be in the same space as each other, so you cannot use a herd 2 card to move a zombie through a space where there's already a zombie. In this case, you'd have to get rid of one of the zombies next to the river before you could get rid of the zombie on 14. Barking works almost the exact same way as herding, except you move the figure in your space, but you stay where you are. And just like with herding, you can bark diagonally, so you can bark around zombies in the way. You can bark humans, zombies, or other dogs. Let's pause here to note that dogs may move through and stay in spaces with zombies, unlike humans. While zombies will eat humans, they can't hurt dogs. Just like herding, you'll use barking to remove zombies from the board, get humans into Central Bark, and move other dogs around the city. If you play a chew card when you're in a space with a zombie, you can just immediately remove that zombie from the board. Good doggo cards are the only way for you to use the ability listed on your dog. Each dog has a unique ability with powerful effects. For instance, Lupin's ability is Snuggle, Captain Woofster's ability is Hunt, and Wayne's ability is Be Grumpy. In addition, there are 2 bonus effects listed on some cards. The first bonus symbol is the zoom symbol. When you play a card with the zoom effect, you gain an extra action on your turn. So if Lupin plays this Run 3 zoom card as the first action on his turn, he can actually do 2 more actions. So he'll play a Chew to remove a zombie from the board, and then he'll use a Run 1 action to get to the crumbles. You can play multiple cards with the zoom symbol to take lots of actions in a single turn. Finally, there's the Howl bonus. After you take the main effect listed on the card, the Howl bonus lets you choose one other player anywhere on the board to hear your howl and draw 1 energy card. Lastly, let's talk about rescuing humans. When you get a human into Central Bark, immediately draw 1 human card and place it in the first slot available in Humantown. Every human has a bonus printed on them, like Pets You or Hunt Zombies. Use that bonus immediately, and then continue your turn. Once you've taken the 2 actions on your turn, it's time to roll the die and add a zombie to the board. Simply add 1 zombie to the number that you rolled. So if you roll 18, add a zombie to Bath, which is number 18. But what if there's already a zombie in the space that you roll? Well, in that case, the zombie is going to move 1 closer to Central Bark. This is because zombies are inherently selfish and they can never be in the same space. Zombies will continue marching right towards Central Bark until they reach the first available open space. If that first available space is Central Bark, then the zombie gets in. Luckily, these dogs printed on the board will chew the zombie up and remove it, but that scary encounter increases the feral track by 1. The other unfortunate thing is that a zombie may enter a space with a human. If that happens, the human is eaten, removed from the board, and the feral track increases by 1. As I mentioned earlier, zombies can't hurt dogs, but they can startle dogs. If a zombie enters or stumbles through a space with a dog, the dog becomes startled. They must immediately run back to the middle space of Central Bark. In addition, any dog that is startled has to discard 2 energy cards from their hand. If a dog becomes startled when they have no energy cards in their hand, they then have to increase the feral track by each card they can't discard. So here, Lupin had to increase the feral track by 2 because he had no energy cards in his hand. If you ever forget what increases the feral track, the rules are printed on the feral track itself. It's okay if a zombie is added to a space with a scent token, because those humans are still in hiding. However, it's very bad if a zombie is added to a space with a human and a dog. The dog is startled, and the human is eaten. And that's how the gameplay works in Good Dog, Bad Zombie. But let's recap a couple things about movement before we end. First, it's okay for dogs to move into or through spaces with zombies, because dogs are very special. However, zombies cannot be barked or herded through spaces with other zombies because they are very selfish. And finally, humans cannot be moved through spaces with zombies because, well, the zombie would eat the human, and that's kind of against the point. And that's how you play Good Dog, Bad Zombie. Once you get the hang of things, there's some strategy tips as well as more difficulty setups in the rulebook to help you play more and more. Thanks so much. Say bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Got slobber all over the board game.